Japan has one of the lowest rates of infant sleep problems in the developed world. And almost no Japanese parent has ever done sleep training. No, cry it out. No separate nursery, no drowsy-but-awake. To most Japanese mothers, that whole approach sounds a little cruel. And yet, their babies sleep fine. Their kids grow up independent and calm. So either Japan got lucky for a few hundred years straight, or we've been sold something that was never really about the baby. If you are watching this at 3 a.m. with a baby on your chest, I want you to know something first. You're not doing anything wrong. I know, that is probably not what the last 10 videos told you. They told you to put her down drowsy, but awake. They told you to let her cry it out. And maybe you tried, and maybe it broke something in you. So, before we go any further, just breathe, because what Japanese families do at night is almost the complete opposite of what you've been told. And their babies sleep fine. Their moms sleep fine. And nobody is crying alone in a dark room. Here is something that doesn't get talked about enough. Japan has one of the lowest rates of infant sleep problems in the developed world, and one of the lowest rates of sudden infant death. We'll come back to that. But here is the part that surprised me when I first read it. Japanese parents almost never do sleep training. The whole idea of putting a baby in a separate room and letting them cry. To most Japanese mothers, that sounds not just strange, but kind of cruel. And yet, their kids grow up to be independent, calm, good sleepers. So either Japan is getting lucky for a few hundred years straight, or we've been sold something that was never actually about the baby. I want to walk you through 4 things Japanese families do at night. None of them cost money. None of them require an app or a course. And honestly, most of them are things your body already wants to do. You've just been told not to. One quick thing before we start. I'm not a doctor. Sleep setups are a real safety topic, and every baby is different. Talk to your own pediatrician about what is safe for your family. I'm just showing you what Japan does, and what the research says about why it works. Let's start with a word, Kawa-no-ji. It literally means the shape of the character for river. In Japanese, that character is 3 simple lines, side by side. And that is exactly how a Japanese family sleeps. Mom on one side, dad on the other, and the baby right in the middle. 3 lines, Kawa-no-ji. This isn't a parenting trend. It has been the normal way to sleep in Japan for centuries. The baby doesn't have its own room. It often doesn't have its own bed. It sleeps between 2 people who love it, close enough to hear it breathe. Now, in the West, we're told this is a problem. We're told the baby needs to learn independence, needs its own space, that co-sleeping creates a clingy, dependent child. But here's what the research actually shows. Children who grow up with this kind of closeness don't become more dependent. They become more secure. And secure kids actually separate easier later, not harder. The Japanese figured this out without a single study. They just never believed that a baby alone in the dark was learning anything good. And if you've been feeling guilty for wanting your baby close at night, that guilt isn't yours. It was handed to you by a culture that got this part wrong. Habit 2. Soine. Soine just means sleeping, next to someone, lying down beside your child. In Japan, a mother lying down next to her child until they fall asleep isn't babying them. It is just bedtime. It is how it is done. In the West, we've turned bedtime into a training exercise. Put her down, leave the room. Let her self-soothe. Check at intervals. We've made the most tender moment of the day into a kind of test. A test. The baby is supposed to pass by, giving up. Because that is what self-soothing actually means for a tiny baby. It doesn't mean she learned to be calm. It means she learned that crying doesn't bring anyone. So, she stops. We call that a win. Japan calls that heartbreaking. Here is what Soine does instead. The baby falls asleep, feeling a warm body, hearing a heartbeat, smelling someone familiar. Her nervous system reads all of that as one message. You are safe. And a baby who feels safe doesn't need to cry for hours. There is nothing to protest. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I'll never get her out of my bed. And that is fair. But the research on this is actually reassuring. Kids raised with this closeness move to their own space when they're ready, usually on their own, without a battle, because they were never fighting for safety in the first place. Quick pause. If you've ever lain down next to your baby's crib on the floor because you couldn't stand to leave, type the word Soine in the comments. I want you to see how many of us did that exact thing. Habit 3, and this is the one that I think matters most. Japan, as a culture, does not do cry it out. The method we call cry it out, or extinction, or controlled crying. The idea that you let a baby cry until they stop on their own. It barely exists in Japanese parenting. It is not a debate there. It just isn't done. And I used to think that was just tradition, just an old habit, until I looked at what happens inside a baby during cry it out. When a baby cries and no one comes, their body floods with cortisol, the stress hormone. For a few minutes, that is normal. Babies cry, but when the crying goes on, and still no one comes, that cortisol stays high even after the baby goes quiet. Here is the part nobody tells you. Studies have found that babies who stopped crying during sleep training still had elevated stress hormones after they fell silent. The baby looked calm. The baby was not calm. She just learned that her signal doesn't work. So, she stopped sending it. Japanese parenting never separates the baby from the response. Baby makes a sound. Someone comes. Every time. And over thousands of small moments, the baby learns the single most important thing. The world answers me. I am not alone here. That belief becomes the foundation of everything. Confidence, calm, trust. And you cannot train it in later. It is built right here, in the dark, at 3 a.m. Habit 4. The Japanese have a word, skinship. It means closeness through skin contact. And it doesn't stop when the sun goes down. Japanese babies are held a lot during the day. Carried, not pushed in strollers. And at night, that closeness simply continues. There is a reason this matters more than it sounds. A newborn can't regulate its own body, not its temperature, not its breathing, not its heart rate. For most of human history, a baby did all of that by borrowing it from a nearby adult. The adult's steady breathing taught the baby's breathing. The adult's heartbeat steadied the baby's heartbeat. This is real. It is called regulation. And it is part of why close sleep is linked to safer sleep. When a baby sleeps near a responsive adult, the baby tends to sleep lighter, rouse easier, and that lighter sleep is actually thought to be protective. The deepest, longest, most isolated sleep was never the goal. We just decided it was because it was more convenient for us. Japanese families kept doing the older thing. The baby borrows your calm all night and slowly builds its own. So that is the whole picture. Kawa-no-ji, the family sleeps as 3 lines, baby in the middle. Soine, you lie down with them. Bedtime is connection, not a test. No cry it out. The signal always gets an answer. Skinship, the baby borrows your calm until it grows its own. None of this is soft. None of this is spoiling. This is just the older, quieter way that most of human history actually did this. And here is what I really want you to hear tonight. If you've been lying awake feeling like you're failing, because your baby still wakes up, Your baby waking up is not a bug. It is not a flaw. It is not you doing it wrong. It is a small human asking the same question every human asks in the dark. Is someone there? And every single time you answer, you are doing the most important job there is. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are answering. Okay, one last thing. If you made it to the end of this, at some impossible hour of the night, with a baby on you, tell me in the comments how old your little one is. I'd just like to know who is awake out there with me. And if this gave you even a little bit of permission to stop fighting yourself, subscribe to Mochi School. We have a lot more quiet things to talk about. Get some rest if you can. I'll see you in the next one.